Okay, so we're back. In the previous tutorial, I already assigned all the object to the scene. Okay, so if you do a quick render, this is what you'll get. Okay, now currently all the object has some texture already assigned to it. So the props, the character, and what we need to do now is the lighting portion of the Redshift tutorial. Okay, now to make a light in Redshift, all you have to do is just click this Redshift button and go to light, and there is this Redshift physical light. Okay, so let's create that. Now, the light itself will be located in the origin because our scene is actually to my left, and we need to move this light all the way in place in the scene. Okay, maybe somewhere there. Okay, and let's just reduce this a little bit. Okay, now let's just have a test render. So I'm going to do IPR. Okay, so this is what the light look like in Redshift. Okay, and if you look at the attributes, you can change this light type to area. You can change that to point. You can change that to spotlight. Okay, and you can change that to directional. Okay, now in this case, because it's an interior scene, I'm just going to use area light as my light source. Now let's just change this back to area. Okay, and let's zoom in a little bit closer. Okay, now if you look at this scene, okay, you can see that this rectangle kind of like give it this white color. That's because right now the light is set to white. Okay, if I change this to maybe a bit more red, it will change the color to red. And if I change this to green, right, it will change to green. So this is the attribute that control the color of the light. Now, the unit type, I usually set this to image. You can change this to some other unit type. Okay, it's very technical stuff, so I'm just going to leave this to image. Okay, now the intensity multiplier, you can change that to 1. So just control the brightness or the darkness of the light. Okay, so higher value means the light will be brighter. Lower value means the light will be darker. Now I'm just going to put this back to default setting, white. Right, and put this all the way higher value. Now, the next thing that we're going to look at is this area tab. Okay, the rectangle and the visible. Okay, right now this rectangle shape is actually set by these attributes. Okay, the attribute set to rectangle. If I change that to disk, it will give me disk shape. If I change this to sphere, it will give me this kind of shape, and so on, cylinder and mesh. Okay. Right now we're just going to leave the mesh for later. So because we're going to use this light for this bulb, right, and the bulb practically look like a sphere, we then need to change this shape to sphere so that it resembles the bulb shape. Okay, and this attribute of visible, you can have it off and on. Now, usually people put this thing to off so that the light will not be rendered as a blob. Okay, but the scene are still be lit, just like this. Okay, so my test now, I'm just gonna put this light place, right? So that it can illuminate the scene. Okay, so let's close this one. Okay, so I want to make this light a little bit smaller, right? Maybe I put there, maybe like this. Maybe I'm going to do test render now. So go image. Okay, so it's too bright, so I need to change the intensity to 1, and maybe I need to change the color to this color. Do test render. Okay, so it's not bad. We still need to do for the rest of the bulb. Okay, so I'm gonna close this, and you can do that by duplicating the light. So you can Control D, and just Control D, then push this light to the bottom, and readjust D, bottom, readjust. Okay, Control D, readjust. Okay, just Control D, adjust. Okay, and Control D again, adjust. Control D, Control D. Okay, and again, I'm going to do some test render. Here's IPR render cam. Okay, so I have this render for the bulb finished already. Now, again, I'm going to save this. Again, the scene is too dark, so we need to have some area light to make sure that it's not too dark, so people can see like what's going on in the scene. Okay, right now the scene is barely visible. Okay, and there are characters here that we need to show to the audience. Okay, so let's close this one. Again, you can start by duplicate this light, or you can click this Redshift Light and physical light. Okay, again, it will be somewhere in the origin, so you have to push this all the way to your scene, right, like there. Okay, now in this case, okay, if you look at this image, whatever outside this frame, people cannot see. Okay, um, in okay, they cannot see what's on the left. They cannot see what's on the right, on the top, or on the bottom. Now, in this case, I'm just gonna put the key light on the top. Okay, so assuming that there's another light coming from the ceiling. Right, so let's minimize this. I'm gonna make it bigger, right, like that. Okay, just this. Okay, so I'm just repositioning the light. Okay, maybe the color is not white. Maybe it's on the color. It's color pick. Okay, and having this intensity is just too bright. Okay, let's reduce this to that much. Okay, then do a test render. Okay, so now that the scenes it's much brighter as compared to before. So that is before and that is after. Okay, so there's big difference. I think I still need to adjust the light. So like that. Okay, now this white portion of this light that is caused by this visible. Okay, so if we turn off this visible, okay, the room still be lit, but the light it's not render. Okay, which something that I want to be in the scene. Okay, so I'm just gonna pause the video and put the light in the correct places because I already render this previously before the tutorial start. Okay. Okay, so I already readjust the light position. Okay, so this is what I have currently. I did not change any of the setting, so I only changed the location, the rotation, and the scale. Okay, right now I feel like the light is too bright. So one way to adjust the light is by reduce its scale as rather than changing its intensity. So in this case, I'm just going to use the scale tool and shrink the light. Shrink the light maybe around 19, 28, and 36. Okay, so the light is not too bright. I said that is before and that is after. There's still a lot to tweak that we need to do, but this is something that I want. Okay, and again, don't forget to name the light or group the light. In this case, I know that this is my bulb, so let's group. It's going to be my bulb light, and this one is my key. Okay, so this is my key light. Okay, now the next thing that we're going to do is we are going to put some rim light, because right now this silhouette it hardly can be seen. Okay, I'm going to save this, and again we can duplicate the light or we can create from scratch. Redshift Light and physical light. Okay, it's going to be somewhere in the origin, so we have to push all the way inside. I think it's too big, so we have to reduce. This somewhere there. All right, here. Okay, again the light color, I'm gonna change this to blue because the render that we have is have this blue. I have this nice blue light coming from the right. Okay, so it's kind of give you like a mood, a different kind of mood in the lighting. Okay, so change this to some blue color. Close. Okay, okay, this is too bright. Okay, because the intensity are set to 100. So let's reduce this to maybe 5. Right, and take off the visible. Okay, so bad, but we just need to push this light all the way to the right, because right now the light's kind of visible in the mirror reflection, and that is something that we do not want. Okay, so let's cancel this. Just push this there. Render. Okay. Maybe somewhere here. Okay, so I'm just gonna get the value from the scene that I did before. Okay, so this is what I have for my rim light. Okay, so I'm gonna rename this properly. Okay, so that is without with rim light, and that is without. Okay, so it kind of give me a nice blue illumination coming from my right hand side. Okay, so the next thing that we gonna do is we gonna add some more light. Okay, before we wrap this up, I'm just gonna stop video first.